is lame and absurd, but you spit. You need to sit back and observe a certified pimp. He's so fly. Oh, yes, he is. I mean, that boy does the shit. He's a mess, he is. Fresh to death. Ain't nobody fresh as he is. They can't compare. Won't get next to him. Because he's so fly. I mean, the boy's so clean. From his white tee. Hold down to those jeans. You see the ice in the pinky.
Good morning, everybody. It's your man's Ken Jackson. Welcome to the show today. You know, so much has happened over the past few hours, past couple of days. As you all know, Donald Trump is taking over Washington, D.C. He's federalized the police department, and he's called in roughly about 800 National Guard troops in to supposedly secure Washington, D.C. and fight out of control crime, as he says. But we all know the truth is what he's telling the public, what he's telling all of us, doesn't match up with the numbers. Trump is lying. And I'm here to say, don't be deceived because there's all a distraction. Trump doesn't want to release the Epstein files because he's all over that shit. And think about it. It was Trump and the MAGA movement, you know, that cried so loudly about exposing the pedophiles and the Democratic cabal and the child trafficking networks and so forth and so on. And it was under the Trump administration that Jeffrey Epstein was arrested, you know, and died in prison, apparently, while Trump was president as well. So, what's really going on? I don't know, but what it looks like to me, in my humble opinion, is a total distraction from the truth. They don't want to release those files. Trump is a pedophile. There is plenty of documented evidence over the years to prove so. You know what I'm saying? Personally, there's some things that I think has happened that are beyond atrocious. You know, I think he may have touched his own daughter. You know what I'm saying? Who knows? We got pictures and video of him, you know, in compromising positions. He's said some things over the years that are definitely questionable. Like the time when he was on, I think it was on The View, and he said perhaps if Ivanka wasn't his daughter, he'd be dating her. Are you fucking serious? Is this what you say about your daughter? Knock it off, man. All the pictures of him and Epstein together, partying, the videos of them partying together, and it's obvious to me what's going on. Not only is he distracting from the Epstein files, but he's on a major power grab. He is definitely pushing the limits to see how much he can get away with. He is systematically tearing down our constitutional boundaries that were meant to prevent exactly this from happening. And but here we are, you know. So I don't want to spend too much time talking about all the bad shit Trump does. The matter at hand right now is this Washington D.C. thing, because it's something that he definitely wants to spread to other cities. He mentioned Chicago, Baltimore, New York, San Francisco. You know what I mean? So only reason he couldn't start in those cities because those states governors were like, hell nah. You know, Washington D.C. unfortunately doesn't have any representatives in Congress. They're not a state, so they don't have a governor. And under the Constitution, for at least 30 days, Trump can do exactly what he's doing in Washington, D.C., and only Congress can extend that period. Um, and will they? Probably so, because we already know that he has Congress in his hip pocket. Unfortunately, the Democratic Party has zero legislative power now to do anything. Republicans are in total control of the Congress. They're in total control of the Supreme Court. So we're pretty much fucked right now. Um, but what's going on is definitely something that you all should be worried about. You should really, truly be worried, because if Trump gets away with this, what's going to be his next move? You know what I mean? What is it that he's going to try to do to solidify his position of power even more? Because we know that's what it's all about. It's about power. It's about money. Trump always talks about money. That's like his number one subject. Oh, America's going to be so rich, and we're taking in billions and billions of dollars in tariffs, which is bullshit. Any tariffs being paid is being paid by us, the taxpayers. It's not being paid by the countries that are exporting the products to us. Is being paid by the companies that are importing the products, who in turn pass that higher cost on to us. Now, don't get me wrong. There are some companies that are attempting to eat those extra costs, but they're only going to be able to sustain that for so long. And eventually, it's going to come to the point where they're going to be like, you know what, fuck it, we can't do this. It's going to put us out of business, and they're going to start raising prices on the American public. But at the end of the day, it's us, the public, that pays the tariffs. Inflation is up, contrary to what Trump has said. Grocery prices are definitely not going down. I know this for a fact because I buy groceries every week, and it's not enough. It's not freaking enough. And all I got to do is take care of my own ass. I'm not even buying for a family anymore. All my kids are grown, thank God. But I still have to help out, one of my daughters, because she has 4 young children, and so every now and then I kick out a little bit to help her out, and it's near impossible for uh, regular people to just live right now. It's crazy what's going on. Uh, Gas prices are stagnant. They haven't really, fluctuated much at all. They're about the same as they always have been for the past few years. So don't get it twisted. Trump hasn't, brought the gas prices down as he has said on a few occasions. So basically, we're in the same boat, and it's going to get worse. I was just reading an article just the other day that um, uh, the national debt has gone up $20 trillion. We went over $37 trillion total national debt just the other day. 37 trillion. How is it? What does $37 trillion in debt even look like? Could you imagine if your ass was $37 trillion in debt? But guess what? You are, because that's what the country's debt is. And we, the people, are the country. And guess who has to pay that debt off? We do. And how are we going to pay it off? Us poor folks are going to pay it off. We're not going to pay it off. There's no way we can pay it off because we don't have the funds to do so. But we're paying higher taxes, contrary to popular belief. The billionaires are not paying as much. You know, theirs has definitely been lowered because that's what that big, beautiful bill was all about. Lower taxes on the wealthy, lower taxes on the top 1%, pretty much. So, if you're not making at least 400,000 a year, you're not going to benefit at all from the so-called tax lower tax rates that Trump is claiming. He's only looking out for his wealthy friends. Don't give a damn about you. You know what I'm saying? Trump has never, ever walked in our shoes. He has never been one of us. He has never been a regular citizen that's had to worry about, uh, you know, whether or not they're going to pay the rent, or pay the light bill, or buy groceries, or get clothes for the kids. He's never had to worry about that shit ever. I don't think Donald Trump has ever walked inside a regular retail store, to tell you honestly. You know what I mean? So, I mean, hold on one second. Yo, get over But yeah. All right, y'all, I'm back. I meant to put the "We'll be right back" screen up with the pretty music going, but hey, that's the pitfalls of recording at home. Had somebody at the door, so I had to go take care of something. All right, so anyway, where was I? Shoot. Oh, we're talking about Trump and his DC takeover. We have to do something about what's going on. Oh, excuse me. God damn it, it's hot outside. This heat wave is something crazy. We might have a hurricane coming our way. To be off subject. But anyway, Donald Trump's on a major power grab. He's trampling over our Constitution. And there's just a lot that we're dealing with, you know? And I'm afraid that it's going to take a military option, to get rid of this dude in 2028. I hate to say that, but I really, really believe that that's where we're headed to. You know what I mean? Because Donald Trump really loves being in power. He's always wanted to be a dictator, and now, the first time he was in office, he actually had people that were still sensible, and still loved the Constitution enough to block him at every opportunity. But I told people, I said, if he ever got back in office, he wasn't going to make the same mistakes he made the first time, and he did not. He made sure that he put the people in place that would follow his every instruction. They cheated, they lied, they manipulated the system. Yes, the system, the election was rigged, y'all. It was rigged every fucking time Trump ran. But the first time that he lost, he didn't rig it good enough. So that's why he lost. You know what I'm saying? First time he got into office, though, was a fluke. I totally believe it was a total fluke that he got elected the first time because, people were fed up, and they thought that Trump was going to give them something different or give us something different. And he damn sure did give us something different. And he did exactly what he said he was going to do. He said he was going to drain the swamp. And he did. He drained that motherfucker, dredged it out deeper, filled it back up with the same dirty ass water. You know what I'm saying? And threw in critters that were even worse. So now, we have a more massive swamp to deal with, and bigger issues, bigger problems. That's a fact. So what about this meeting in Anchorage, Alaska? I spoke briefly about it the other day. Now here's the thing. Vladimir Putin is a convicted, or not convicted. He's a indicted war criminal, and he has an international arrest warrant out for him, and that's based on an international treaty that was signed by all of the major powers of the world. And the U.S. was signed on to that as well. But when Putin was indicted, the U.S. for some reason backed out and said that they're not going to arrest him because according to the treaty, whatever country that was signed on, if Putin were to land in that country, he's supposed to be immediately arrested, and basically taken to The Hague, I guess, where he can be tried for war crimes. But that's not going to happen because we got a damn convicted criminal running our country too. So, in his mind, Putin is his buddy. Even though he's disappointed in Vladimir Putin these days because of the Ukraine war, right? But it 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 this this is where we're fucking at, y'all. And it's so frustrating, every time I think about it, and every day we hear about it and we're talking about it and people are, concerned, and but nobody, is really busting a move to do anything about it. At least not at the moment. I don't know. Maybe there's somebody planning behind the scenes somewhere on what the next move should be. But let me tell you this: if a fight breaks out, I'm ready for that. I'm ready for all that. I'm ready for the smoke, y'all. So MAGA, bear in mind, all of us Democrats out here ain't soft. You know, we got a lot of guns too, and we're ready to defend this country. You know what I'm saying? We are ready to defend this country. So don't get it twisted. Don't think that we're just gonna sit back and let this shit happen. Because that's not the play. That would not be a good play for y'all. Um, and technically, there's more of us than you. So do you really want that? Is that what you really want? You seem to have forgot that the South lost the Civil War. The South lost. The Confederates lost, and you lose again. You know what I mean? The Nazis lost. Remember them? You'll lose again. You know what I mean? So don't get it fucked up. All right. If it comes down to that, and I hope it doesn't, but I'm ready. I'm ready for all the smoke. And I'm no tough guy. You know what I mean? I'm no tough guy. I'm no super soldier or anything like that. But I'm definitely somebody who, uh, contrary to our history, our tainted past, here in America, America's the only home I know. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to defend it. I signed up, I served, I did my time in the Navy, and I still, believe in what I did for the country. You know what I'm saying? And that's even though the country, you know, didn't love me, doesn't love me as much as it should, but it's not the entire country. It's just a third of this country that don't want to fuck with people like me. All right. There's another whole third of people out here that love people like me. Then there's another whole third of people that I ain't so sure. Those motherfuckers that sat at home and didn't vote, and didn't want to participate, in the process. Democracy only works when we all participate. So when we don't, we get what we got, plain and simple. you know and I have no problem with the system when it's working, you know and when it's not working, I get involved as much as I can to do my part to make it work. But everybody doesn't have that same mindset. So many of you out there just don't give a damn, and I get it. I get it. I understand exactly, how you're feeling. But that shouldn't stop you from, from being out here and being involved and doing, your small part, to keep it all, on track. Because I don't know where we're headed right now. This shit's getting real scary, and I'm old now, and we're, I know I'm not going to be able to see it through till the end, but hopefully I can do enough before I leave here, you know, to at least help get things moving along in the right direction. Sometimes I think I should have gotten into politics when I was younger, Um, would I have been a successful politician? I don't know. I don't know. Politics has never been something that I was interested in until I got older. Unfortunately, I think we need to get a lot of our younger people involved, though, because politics works from the bottom up. It really does. It starts with the aldermen and the city councilmen and the county commissioners and school board commissioners and people at that level, who rise up through the ranks as mayors and state representatives and governors and senators and house members. That they're the ones that come up and end up, basically running the country. But we hire them. We are the ones that give them their positions. We're the ones that give them their jobs. So it's up to us to hold them accountable. For a lot of years, they've gotten away with a lot of bullshit. They worked the system. They've manipulated the system in a way that's allowed them to gain more control. Legally too. But everything that they've done wasn't legal. But they've turned the legal system around. And has made it work the way that they need it to work, to fuel their dreams of grandeur. You know what I'm saying? So it's got, like I said, it's gonna take a lot of work to get back on track. Uh, Trump and MAGA has probably set us back 50 years, maybe 100. But I think when it's all said and done, I believe that we will get back on track, at some point in the future. As I've said plenty of times, America never was great, but we were working towards greatness, you know. So when MAGA says "Make America Great Again," I always ask, when were we great? Because we've been kind of fucked up for a long time, since day one, actually, you know. But we've made so much progress. We made a lot of progress. Unfortunately, we got complacent and took our hands off the wheel, and now we got these motherfuckers just ruining shit. But pay attention to what's going on in DC, y'all. I'm gonna come back here Sunday night, as you know, 9 p.m. is the regular broadcast. But I will always be doing these random, pop-ins and and rants and this is just random thoughts and shit. You know what I'm saying? So hang in there, y'all. It's gonna get better. I don't know when, but it's definitely gonna get better if you want it to get better. All right. Be grateful. Stay healthy as best you can. Hug them kids. Hug your loved ones. Tell them you love them. All that good stuff. I'm your man's Ken Jackson. This has been the Ken Jackson Experience. I am out. Peace.